Yes, students, now we will revise the last topic under GST, that is returns. And please be careful, this is not income tax returns. Whatever we have learned in assessment procedure chapter in income tax, that is all about income tax returns. But now what we are covering is all about GST returns. The provisions with respect to returns under GST is covered in section 37 to 48 of CGST Act, and the same to same provision is applicable even under IGST Act as per section 20 of IGST Act, guys. Okay. First of all, sir, what is returns? Guys, returns is the communication of information by a registered person under GST to the tax department that what all he has done throughout the tax period with respect to outward supply as well as inward supply. So in simple, he has to give the details about output tax on outward supply minus what is the credit he can claim on the input tax on the inward supply, the remaining amount what he or she is supposed to pay through electronic cash ledger. So all these details has to be disclosed in the returns. Yes, sir. Then in any tax law, filing of return constitutes the most important compliance procedure. Now if I am supposed to file the returns, assume I am a registered person under GST, it is my responsibility to file the returns, whichever return I am supposed to file, because there are different types of returns under GST. If I don't file the returns within the due date, then it is a non-compliance by me. Yes. And once I have filed the returns, it also helps the department to cross check whether whatever I have disclosed, is it right or wrong? Is there any omission? Is there any mistake? All this they can cross check. And if required, the proper officer can also issue the notice asking for more information or data by the registered person. Yes. And there are different types of returns under GST, guys, which has to be filed by different persons under the different scenarios. So you can see in this paragraph I have mentioned. There are various types of returns under GST, like the first return, monthly return, return from composition supplier, that is under section 10, then TDS return or the return for input service distributor, annual return, and final return. Under GST, everything is online, means you have to file the returns online. There is no option to file manual returns, guys, and is updated and matched regularly. If a business is done from offices in multiple states, then the number of returns will go up accordingly. Means, guys, under GST, filing returns as well as payment of tax is registration wise. So assume I have taken registration in all the states and union territory in India. Then accordingly, I need to file the returns and pay tax for each and every registration separately. So in simple, filing returns is GST-IN wise, guys, and it is not all India based. Okay. Under the GST laws, the correct and timely filing of returns is of utmost importance because of two reasons. What are those? Firstly, under the GST laws, a taxpayer is required to estimate his own tax liability on self-assessment basis. So I need to calculate my own output tax. Then on output tax, how much credit? On outward supply, how much output tax I'm supposed to pay? Yes. And on inward supply, whatever tax I have paid, it would have been auto-populated to me in my GST at 2A as well as 2B. Yes. Adjust it if I am eligible to claim credit. Then the remaining I have to pay through cash ledger, and all these details has to be given by me in my returns, and deposit the tax amount along with or before filing the such returns. So in most of the cases, the due date to file return is the due date to pay tax. So before filing the returns, the registered person has to make sure that he has paid the tax liability, whatever he is supposed to pay through electronic cash ledger. And I will also upload a separate video on GST liability calculation as already informed. Guys, the GST liability calculation question will come under descriptive type for 10 marks under compulsory section. So please make sure that you will capitalize on it and score the maximum there, where you should know how to calculate the output tax, then how to adjust the ITC in the sequence, then how much is the amount which has to be paid through electronic cash ledger. Okay, sir. Then, secondly, under the GST regime, filing of returns also has a huge bearing on determination of tax liability of the other person, that is the recipient. Because if supplier defaults giving the details of outward supply in GSTR-1, then recipient cannot claim the credit. Recipient cannot claim credit. Even if by chance, assume the supplier has given the details of outward supply in GSTR-1, but later he didn't file GSTR 3B for the same period. So there is a time till 30th September of next financial year. Hope you remember this provision we have discussed in input tax credit chapter. I repeat. Assume the supplier has given the details of outward supply in GSTR1. Recipient has claimed the credit because the credit was appearing in GSTR2B. Okay. But later for the same period, supplier didn't file GSTR3B. In that case, as per rule 37A, the recipient has to reverse the credit. So if supplier didn't file GSTR 3B within 30th September of next financial year, then within 30th November, that is within 2 months, the recipient has to reverse credit. Actually, the due date to file GSTR 3B is 20th of next month. But still, as per rule 37A, they are giving time till 30th September of next financial year. Till then, if supplier has not filed GSTR 3B and if recipient has already claimed credit, then recipient has to reverse the credit, guys. Has to reverse credit within what time? 30th November of the financial year. That is next financial year. Got it? Yes, sir. This topic we already covered in the input tax credit chapter, guys. Yes. So filing of returns is of utmost importance, sir. Yes, sir. And whatever sections we will be covering in this chapter, guys, I have given the list here. Two sections have been omitted already from the act itself, that is section 42 and 43. Remaining section, whatever is a part of your syllabus, we'll be learning here. We'll be learning here. And whatever sections list I have given here, it is a part of CGST Act, and same to same is applicable even under IGST Act, except the late fee part. Except the late fee part, which is given in section 47. Anyway, what is the amount of late fee is not a part of your syllabus, so you need not worry about it. Got it? Yes, sir. Fine, guys. So next, I have given the table of various returns to be filed by different kind of persons under GST. So what is the return? Who has to file it? Within what time? That is the due date. Got it? Yes. But before I start with this, guys, I know most of you would have come from your hometown to do CA to the tier 1 cities or for your coaching, or maybe it is not possible for you to study at your hometown, so you have shifted to a different cities. But please make sure that when you're returning back to your hometown, you have to be a successful person. Never go back to your hometown as a loser, as a failure, guys. I know you're doing your best. If you feel somewhere that you can still do better, please make sure that you are giving your best and make sure you are pushing hard every day. Only few days are left for the exam, so you have to push hard. And if you are already doing, then try to improve your productivity time. If you feel that you are wasting your time here and there, maybe on unproductive things, that is your mobile, or maybe watching TV or roaming around, whatever it is, try to cut it down, guys. I know the journey is not going to be easy. You will face lot of hurdles. You will face lot of difficulties. So there will be a tough time which you guys might face in this process. But no matter what, you have to do it, guys. Because at the end, you have only two options to tell. One is, sir, I cleared this exam in spite of dash 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 dash. This is the first statement. The second one is, sir, I couldn't clear the exam because of. So which statement looks better for you? You decide, guys. So please make sure that you are giving your 100% no matter what. I know studying for a long hours is tough, but just imagine if you cannot clear again and again, you have to sit and study the same portion. Don't you think that would be more tougher? Yes. So push yourself. Maybe you're studying for 10 or 12 hours. So try to improve it. Maybe 1 hour or half an hour extra every day, and you are nearing to the exams, so this time is very crucial, guys. And if you feel that you're wasting the time or you're spending some unproductive time, please try to cut it down as much as possible. Got it? Yes. So let us continue now. Fine. So the first return, GSTR1 along with GSTR3B, has to be filed by every registered person under section 9, guys. So I will try to explain this with an example. Yeah, you can see every person who is registered under GST as per section 9, that is normal scheme, they have to file GSTR1 every month, giving the details of outward supply as well as output tax within 11th of next month. Within 11th of next month. And they should also file GSTR 3B, giving the details of outward supply, output tax, inward supply, and input tax. This would be in more summarized way. and this has to be filed within 20th of next month. And whatever due date I have given here is the due date to be filed, that is to file GSTR1 as well as 3B for a person who is under section 9 and filing the returns monthly. They also have the option to file the returns quarterly, guys. So what is the due date to file the returns quarterly also I will discuss, but if question is silent, guys, always go with monthly. If they themselves have specified clearly in the question that the person is filing the quarterly returns or they are following QRMP, then accordingly follow it. If not, please go with the monthly returns. Is that clear? Yes, sir. So let us see that. GSTR1 filed by a registered person, that is under section 9, providing the details of outward supply including the CTP, that is casual taxable person. Okay, sir. Then, if they are filing it monthly, the due date is 11th of next month. Actually, as per the act, it is 10th, whereas through notification, they have made it as 11th, guys. So, what is the actual due date? Is 11th. Clear? Huh? Yes. Then, if they are filing it quarterly, that is, if the person who is registered under section 9, if they are filing GSTR1 quarterly, then the due date is 13th day of the month succeeding each quarter, guys. For example, for April, May, June, it will be 13th July. Whereas, assume I will take one more example. For Jan, Feb, March, it would be 13th April. Is that clear? Yes, sir. Next, whoever is filing one, they should also file GSTR3B. Please be careful, GSTR1 is covered in section 37, whereas GSTR3B is covered in section 39. Simple return in which summary of outward supply along with the input tax credit is declared and payment of tax is affected registered person including CTP. Registered person which section, guys? Section 9. Got it? Including CTP. Even casual taxable person has to file GSTR3B for his active period of registration. Okay, sir. So if they are filing it monthly, it is 20th of next month. Whereas if they are filing it quarterly, then 22nd or 24th of the month succeeding each quarter. For few states, it is 22nd, and for few states, it is 24th, guys. Is that clear? So please be careful, sir. Are we supposed to know for each state what is the due date, 22nd or 24th? I don't think they will test you, but still, it is good to know. It is good to know. I will just show you for which states it is 22nd or 24th. This is from my provision book. Just a minute. Yeah, you can see here I have given for the following states, it is 22nd of the month succeeding each quarter, whereas for the this states, it is 24th of the month succeeding each quarter, guys. Clear? So it is good to know, but I don't think they will test you with respect to the state name, what is the due date and all. If in case if state name is not given, guys, you can just write 22nd or 24th of the month succeeding each quarter. Got it? GSTR1 is 13th of the month succeeding each quarter, whereas 3B is 22nd for few states and 24th for the other states succeeding each quarter. So in simple, 13th of the first month of next quarter for GSTR1, whereas 22nd or 24th of the first month of next quarter for GSTR3B. Yes. Okay. Then whoever is filing 1 and 3B should also file GSTR 9, guys. Should also file GSTR 9. Yes, sir. So what is it? Annual return. So GSTR 1 and 3B is monthly or quarterly, whereas 9 is yearly. So the annual return for a taxpayer, that is as per section 9, who is registered under section 9, filing GSTR 1 and 3B should file 9, but except CTP. CTP will file only 1 and 3B, but not 9. Because for them, the maximum period for which registration is granted is 90 or another extension of maximum 90. So they would not be operating throughout the year, guys. So that is why for them only 1 and 3B and not 9. And not 9. Okay, sir. So what is the due date to file GSTR 9? 31st December of next financial year. Guys, many places they have given the deadline. Like for example, deadline to avail the credit as per section 16(4) and all. There, the deadline is 30th November of next financial year or actual date of filing annual return. Actually, the due date is 31st December, but they didn't use the word due date there. They have used the word actual date of filing the annual return. So please be careful with it. So we have covered three things now. That is GSTR 9, 1 and 3B. I will just try to summarize it. I will just try to summarize it here. So this is for a person who is registered under section 9, guys. Okay. Now, assume a person is registered under section 9. Now, he has to file GSTR-1 giving the details of outward supply and output tax. Okay, sir. Within what time? 11th of next month. I am considering monthly. Okay, sir. Then they should also file GSTR-3B within 20th of next month. But before that, whatever inward supply they would have taken from a particular supplier, that supplier will file GSTR-1, or they will give the details of outward supply using invoice furnishing facility if they have opted for QRMP. Yes, sir. So when supplier has given the details of the outward supply for him, whereas for this person it would be inward supply, the credit will appear or reflect in GSTR 2B, that is input tax credit. Okay, sir. So the output tax as per GSTR 1 will be here. Okay. Whereas the input tax credit as per GSTR 2B will appear here. Please be careful. This is with respect to the inward supply. Whatever I have given in green color. Okay, sir. So combining both of this, the details has to be given in GSTR 3B in a summarized way on or before 20th of next month. So what all details has to be given in GSTR 3B? Outward supply, inward supply. On outward supply, what is the output tax? And on inward supply, what is the input tax? And finally, how much has to be paid through electronic cash ledger? And whatever is the due date to file GSTR 3B, that is the due date to pay GST, guys. That is the due date to pay GST. Is that clear? Yes, sir. So GSTR-1 as well as GSTR-3B I have covered here monthly. Even if it is quarterly, sir, accordingly the returns due dates will change, but payment of tax will be monthly only. Even if the person who is under section 9, if they are opting for QRMP, they will file returns quarterly, but they have to pay tax monthly. We'll discuss in detail about QRMP little later. Okay, sir. So along with GSTR-1 and 3B, the registered person should also file GSTR 9 within 31st December of next financial year, giving the details of all the months, that is the entire year. Is that clear? And please be careful, GSTR 2B is not a return. It is a statement in which the credit will appear on what? Inward supply, based on the information given by my supplier in his GSTR 1 or using invoice furnishing facility if he has opted for QRMP. Yes, sir. Fine. Next. So this is all about the person who is registered under section 9. Very important returns, guys. GSTR 1, 3B, monthly or quarterly, along with that GSTR 9 annually. Okay. Next, GSTR 4 and 9A. That is for the person who is registered under section 10. Okay. But before that, I have given a note here. Let us just read it in the next page. Second note. First, let us read the second note. Registered person filing the returns GSTR 1 and 3B are required to file an annual return in GSTR 9. Okay, we already learned it. But the following people need not file GSTR 9, guys. Who are those? The following people need not file GSTR 9. Who are those? Casual taxable person, non-resident taxable person, input service distributor, then person authorized to deduct the tax, that is as per section 51, or the person who is authorized to collect tax as per section 52, that is e-commerce operator. Okay, then persons supplying online information and database access or retrieval services from a place outside India to a person in India other than the registered recipient, means recipient is not registered. Okay, guys, if you remember, for all these people as per section 24, one second, for all these people as per section 24, registration is mandatory, and all these people has to file separate return except CTP. This CTP will file 1 and 3B but not 9. But not 9. Whereas others will file different returns, guys. Different returns are applicable for them. Okay. But there is a relief given for the person who is supposed to file GSTR 9. What is it? The Commissioner, on the recommendation of the GST Council, in respect of filing of annual return for the financial year 24-25 onwards, has exempted the registered person whose aggregate turnover in any financial year is up to 2 crores from filing annual return for that said financial year. Means annual return in GSTR 9 has to be filed only if the aggregate turnover in a financial year is more than 2 crore. If the aggregate turnover is within 2 crore, then GSTR 9 is not required. Means those people has to file only 1 and 3 and not 9. Is that clear? So as per this paragraph, which is a recent amendment, guys, GSTR 9 is applicable only if the aggregate turnover in a financial year is more than 2 crore. Is that clear? Yes. Sir, is it a preceding financial year or current financial year? Current financial year. If the aggregate turnover in the current financial year is up to 2 crore, then no annual return, guys. Is that clear? Yes. Fine. Coming back now. So GSTR 4 and 9A has to be filed by composition supplier. First, we will see 4. Return for a composition supplier both under section 10.1 as well as 10.2A annually within 30th June of next financial year. They have to pay tax quarterly but file returns annually, guys. Okay. And they should also file one more return, that is GSTR 9A, annual return for composition supplier as per section 10 annually within 31st December of next financial year. Both being annual. Both being annual. And I have given a note for it. First note, you can see here. Come to this note. Composition supplier paying tax under section 10 of CGST Act shall follow the special procedure for furnishing of return and payment of tax, which are as follows. Okay. What is it, sir? Quarterly statement in form GST CMP 08 by 18th of the month succeeding such quarter for payment of self-assessed tax. Guys, the composition supplier has to pay tax quarterly. The due date to pay tax is 18th of the month succeeding each quarter. So he has to pay the tax and file a payment statement in GST CMP 08. Is that clear? That is quarterly. And please be careful while calculating the turnover to pay tax. We need to apply explanation 2 to section 10. Explanation 2 to section 10, which you already learned. Yes, what is it, sir? Two things has to be excluded. That is the value of exempt supply by extending loan or advances for which in return interest or discount is charged. Yes. The other one is the threshold limit applicable for registration. That is either 10 lakh, 20 lakh or 40 lakh tax. Is that clear? That is to calculate the turnover to pay tax in the current year. Fine. Then coming to the annual return in GSTR 4 by 30th June of next financial year. Then annual return in GSTR 9A by 31st December of next financial year. Got it? This is for the composition supplier, guys. So we learned for both the persons who are registered under section 9 as well as 10. Then we also have some special people. Who are those? GSTR 5 has to be filed by the non-resident taxable person. Even for them, the registration is mandatory. Correct? Yes. So they have to file only for their active period of registration. They have to file the returns. Even for them, the maximum registration will be granted for 90 days plus extension for maximum 90 days. Correct? Yes, sir. So they have to file GSTR 5 monthly within what time? 13th of the next month or within 7 days after the last day of validity period of the registration, whichever is earlier. For example, assume guys their registration was active for full January. For full January. In that case, they have to file GSTR 5 within 13th of February. Assume in February their registration ended on 15th February because they would have taken the registration for a temporary period. Assume their registration got expired on 15th February. So within 7 days from 15th February or 13th March, whichever is earlier, within 7 days from 15th February, that would be 22nd February is the due date to file returns for February, guys. Clear? So this is only for the period during which their registration will expire. If their registration is active for the full month, then we will straight away take 13th of next month as the due date. Got it? Yes, sir. Next, GSTR 7 is for the person who is deducting the TDS as per section 51, that is government authority, PSU and all. Yes, sir. They have to file the returns monthly. Okay, within what time? 10th of next month. And they have to file it for every month. For example, assume they were deducting TDS for Jan, Feb, March. In April, they didn't deduct any TDS. Still, should they file GSTR 7? Yes, they have to file nil returns. Once they have filed the returns as TDS deductor for any month, then they have to file it for all the months, even though in any particular month, if they have not deducted TDS, they have to at least file nil returns, guys. Got it? Yes, sir. Then GSTR 8 is a statement. We don't call it as a return. In the law, they are calling it a statement, guys. Yeah. Details of supplies affected through e-commerce operator and the amount of tax collected at source under section 52. It has to be filed monthly within 10th of next month. Within 10th of next month, guys. Okay, sir. That is by the e-commerce operator. Okay. Then whoever is filing 8, they should also file 9B, which is the annual statement. 8 is monthly statement, whereas 9B is the annual statement. Okay, that is the TCS collector. Annual statement for e-commerce operator annually, the due date is 31st December of next financial year. So you can see whatever is covered as annually, annual return or even annual statement, the due date is 31st December of next financial year, guys. That's common, the due date. Yes. Then GSTR 10 is the final return to be filed by a person whose registration is cancelled as per section 29. Whosoever's registration has been cancelled as per section 29, they have to tell one final goodbye to the department by filing final return. Okay. So you can see once when the GST registration is cancelled or surrendered within 3 months of the date of cancellation or the date of cancellation order, whichever is later. Okay, so date of cancellation means effective date of cancellation as per the cancellation order, yes, passed by the proper officer, or the date of cancellation order. For both of this, add 3 months and take whichever is later. Whichever is later. Within that time, one final return has to be filed, guys. Okay, sir. Next, GSTR 11. This has to be filed by the person who is having unique identity number, guys. Unique identity number. Sir, who will have unique identity number? We have learned in registration topic. Yes, that is the specialized agency of UNO or the foreign embassies or consulate. Yes, sir. So they would have obtained a UIN, but they are not called registered person. Yes. But should they file returns? Yes. GSTR 11 within 28th of the month succeeding. That is in simple 28th of next month. 28th of next month. Sir, why should they file GSTR 1? Guys, simple. Whatever tax they would have paid on their inward supply, we are giving a refund of that. So they have to give the details, especially of their inward supply through GSTR 11 within 28th of the month. That is next month. Got it? Yes. Fine. So we're done with all this? Yes, we'll continue. This is with respect to GSTR1. We have covered all the different types of returns, guys. Now we will go little detail about few important returns. GSTR1. The details of outward supply furnished in form GSTR1 shall include the following. So in GSTR1, we need to give invoice-wise details for B2B supplies. That is when recipient is registered, it has to be given invoice-wise. For each and every invoice, we need to give the details separately. Then if it is a B2C supply, check whether it is interstate supply. And if the value is more than 1 lakh, then we need to give invoice wise. We need to give invoice wise. Okay. Whereas we can give consolidated details for others. For others means whichever is not covered here. So I have given this in green, which is opposite, guys. Simple. Intrastate supply made to unregistered person, that is B2C. And state-wise interstate supplies, we need to give state-wise consolidated details for interstate supply where the invoice value is up to 1 lakh. If the recipient is unregistered. Is that clear? And all the debit and credit note details has to be given during the month in which the respective documents are issued, guys. We already learned actually about this in section 34. Hope you remember. When a debit note is issued by the supplier, you need to give the details of debit note in GSTR1 in the same month. In the same month. Yes, sir. In the same month, GSTR1. No extension, nothing. Whereas if it is a credit note, they are told the credit note details has to be given in GSTR1 of the same month. Whereas, can it be given later also? Yes. The timeline is till 30th November of next financial year or actual date of filing the annual return, whichever is earlier. This is only for credit note. Whereas for debit note, such extension is not there. Got it? This is as per section 34, guys, which we already learnt in the invoice, credit and debit note topic. Okay, sir. So if I have to just summarize this, guys, I have given a simple chart here. In GSTR1, we have to give invoice wise details for what? B2B supplies, whether it is intra or inter, doesn't matter. Whereas if it is B2C supply, then we need to check whether it is interstate supply. Yes. Then also check value. If value of supply as per the invoice is more than 1 lakh, value of supply, okay, excluding GST. If it is more than 1 lakh, then we need to give invoice wise details. Okay. For all others, we need to give consolidated details, guys. Is that clear? Yes. Next. The details of outward supply furnished by the supplier shall be made available to the concerned registered person being a recipient in form GSTR-2A as well as 2B. And for the composition supplier, it is GSTR-4A. Oh. Guys, here I explained, hope you remember it. This details will reflect to the recipient in GSTR-2A as well as 2B. These details are given by whom? By the supplier. From whom I have taken the inward supply. Yes. So this supplier would have given the details of his outward supply using GSTR1, or if he is following QRMP using IFF. Yes, sir. So that will reflect to the recipient in GSTR2A as well as 2B. And which is more important between 2A and 2B means 2B. 2A will be updated on real-time basis. That is, as and when the supplier give the details in GSTR1 or using IFF, immediately it will reflect in GSTR2A. And GSTR2A will also show TDS, TCS credit and all. But which is most important is 2B, which is a static statement. It will be updated only once in a month. Only once in a month, that is 14th. The deadline for the supplier to give the details of outward supply is 13th. Assuming they are following the QRMP. Yes, the maximum deadline is 13th. Yes. So GSTR 2B would be updated only once in a month, that is on 14th. Got it? Yes. That is the main difference between 2A and 2B. 2A will be updated on real-time basis. So it keeps on changing as and when the supplier give the details. Whereas 2B will be updated only once in a month. Okay. Sir, what about 4A? This is for the recipient who is registered under composition scheme. But can he claim any credit? No. Composition supplier cannot claim any credit on his inward supply. So whatever credit is appearing in GSTR 4A, the composition supplier can just see it, feel happy and forget it. He cannot utilize it, guys. It will just appear there. He cannot utilize it. Got it? Yes. Sequencing of returns is mandatory under GST unless the earlier return is not filed. Current month return cannot be filed. For example, sir, I have not filed the returns for last month. Can I file it for the current month? No, not possible. First file the returns, that is the pending returns. Only then you will be allowed to file the returns for the current period. Got it? But anyway, government can give an exemption. But if government is not giving any exemption, then it is always sequencing of returns under GST, guys. Oh. Then a taxpayer cannot file GSTR1 before the end of the current tax period. Sir, assume I am filing the returns for November. Before 30th November, can I file the returns? No, sorry. You have to wait till the end of the month and only then you can file the returns. That is in the December. From 1st December to 11th December, you can file it on any day. Is that clear? Yes. Sir, what if I'm not having any business in the last week of November? Can I file it in the last week of November itself? No, not possible. If your registration is active, wait till the end of the month and you can start filing GSTR only from the 1st of next month. So in simple, you cannot file GSTR1 before the month end, guys, or before the period ends. Okay. Even if it is quarterly, before the quarter end, you cannot file GSTR1. However, following are the exceptions to this rule. That is, casual taxpayer after the closure of their business. For example, assume I had taken a registration as casual taxable person. My registration is coming to end on 10th October. So before 31st October only can I file GSTR1? Yes, you can file it. Yes, sir. Then cancellation of GST-IN of a normal taxable person, normal taxpayer, that is as per section 29. So if my registration is cancelled, assume my registration is cancelled, the effective date of cancellation is 15th October. So before 31st October, can I file my last GSTR1? Yes, I can file it. So only in the following two cases, we can file GSTR1 before the month end or before the end of the tax period. Whereas in any other case, we have to wait till the end of the period, guys. Okay, sir. Next. Now, even if there is a zero activity under GST, guys, sir, my sales is zero, my purchases is zero, still we need to file returns. That is called nil returns, which we can file through SMS. Okay, sir. That is nil return under section 39, that is GSTR 3B, provided my sales as well as purchases, nothing is there. Sir, sales is zero, purchase only one is there. Can I file GSTR 3B nil? No, not possible. Even if you have made one sales or one purchases, you have to file GSTR 3B, which is not a nil. You have to give the details. Nil means what? I have zero activity. Same way, sir, if I don't have any outward supply, can I file GSTR 1 nil? Yes, you have to file. Then what about CMP 08? Sir, I don't have any activity during the quarter. So that means the tax to be paid by a composition supplier under section 10 is zero. Should they still file the nil payment statement in CMP 08? Yes. Sir, what if composition supplier has zero activity throughout the year? Should they file still GSTR 4? Yes, which is nil. Not possible, because throughout the year you cannot have any activity. Okay, you cannot have zero activity. In that case, obviously your registration also might be cancelled if you have zero activity throughout the year. Clear? Because GSTR 4 is annual, no? Yes. But monthly, yes, sir. Because some of the months I might have an off season, or else I don't want to do business. Assuming December month, year end, I want to enjoy my life, so I am traveling, zero activity. Even in that case, if I am under section 9, I should file GSTR 1 as well as 3B nil return. Okay. Whereas under section, if I am under section 10, then during a quarter, even if payment is zero, still I need to file nil payment statement. Or throughout the year, there is zero activity, sir. Then file nil return in GSTR 4. Got it? Yes, sir. Next, rectification of errors or omission. Section 39, subsection 9. Omission or incorrect particulars discovered in the returns, that is GSTR 1 or 3B, filed can be rectified in the return to be filed for the tax period during which such omission or incorrect particulars are noticed. Guys, assume I have already filed my GSTR 1 or 3B for the past period. But in that there was a mistake or omission which I have noticed now. Can I rectify it? Yes. There is no concept of revised return under GST, but we can rectify our mistake. Sir, how will I do it? Through GSTR 1. Through GSTR 1. So for the current month, I will file GSTR 1, no? Yes. So in that, I can correct the mistakes of the previous GSTR 1 or 3B. So whatever mistakes are done in either GSTR 1 or 3B, I can correct it in the subsequent month GSTR 1. So correction is always through GSTR 1. Is that clear? Sir, what is the maximum deadline to correct the mistake? It is 30th November of next financial year or actual date of filing the annual return, guys. That is GSTR 9, whichever is earlier. Whichever is earlier. If in case, if this is not given in the question, straight away go with 30th November. 30th November. Is that clear? And this is the deadline for many of the things under GST, guys. That is to give credit note details or to claim the credit. All this, for all that purpose, the deadline is this one. Yes. The above time limit is for both rectifying the errors in GSTR 1 as well as 3B, guys, which is already filed. Got it? Yes, sir. But they have introduced something called as GSTR 1A. Sir, what is GSTR 1A? Guys, after filing 1, if I have noticed any mistake or omission in 1 before filing 3B in the same month, I can amend it through 1A. I can amend it through 1A. For example, listen. Interesting. Assume I have already filed GSTR 1 for a particular month on or before 11th of next month. But before filing 3B, I noticed a mistake. I noticed a mistake in what? GSTR 1. Can I amend it? Yes, through GSTR 1A. Through GSTR 1A. So when can I file GSTR 1A is after filing 1 but before filing 3B. But in the same tax period. In the same tax period, I can amend the mistake in GSTR 1 through what? GSTR 1A. GSTR 1A, guys. Yes. So let me just read it. A registered person may, after furnishing the details of outward supplies of the goods or service or both, inform GSTR 1 for a tax period, but before filing the return, inform GSTR 3B for the said tax period at his own option. Amend or furnish the additional details of outward supplies of goods or services or both, inform GSTR 1A for the said tax period. Got it? Yes, sir. In cases where a taxpayer, after having filed GSTR 1, realizes that some amendment or downward or upward adjustment is required to be made in the tax liability in Form GSTR 1, then there is an optional form available in 1A to amend it, guys. Sir, what? If the mistake made in GSTR 1, I noticed it only in the next month, then you can rectify it through 1 only of the next month, like how we have seen. If you have noticed the mistake in the subsequent period, then you can amend, you can rectify it through the GSTR1 of that month. For example, assume there was a mistake in GSTR1 of January, which I noticed in March. So for March, we will file GSTR1, no? Through that, I can rectify it. Through that, I can rectify it. That means 1A is applicable when, sir? Now I have made mistake in GSTR1 of January. Okay. So GSTR1 I have filed on or before 11th February? Yes. But before I file GSTR3B for January, I realized this mistake. Can I amend it? Yes. I can amend it. So after filing one, but before filing 3B, whatever time gap is there, no, within that, I can amend the mistakes in one through 1A. Sir, after filing 3B, I understood, sir. Then you can correct it only through your subsequent tax period, GSTR1. Is that clear? You can still do it, but not through 1A, but through subsequent month, GSTR1, guys. Is that clear? Yes. This allows him to add any particulars of the current tax period missed out in reporting in form GSTR1 of current tax period, or amend any particulars already declared in form GSTR1 of the current tax period. Current tax period means in the same period. If I have noticed the mistake in the subsequent period, I already told you, we can rectify it through that particular month GSTR1, guys. Okay. Including those declared in IFF, that is invoice furnishing facility, for the first and second months of the quarter, if any, for the quarterly taxpayers, that is who is following QRMP. Sir, even if there is any mistake made in the details of outward supply given through IFF by the QRMP person, can we amend it through 1 year? Yes, you can do it. Yes, you can do it, guys. Sir, what is the timeline to file GSTR 1A? I already told you. It will start from, guys, listen here. Let me tell it clear. When the window to file GSTR 1A will open is the actual date of filing GSTR 1 or the due date of filing GSTR 1, whichever is later. Whichever actual date or due date to file GSTR 1, whichever is later. And when will the window get closed, sir? Actual date of filing GSTR 3B. Actual date of filing GSTR 3B. Okay, I have given few example here. Just a minute. Yeah, just observe. So assume GSTR 1 and 3B is filed monthly. Let me just take a random example, July 2025. Okay, sir. So what is the due date to file GSTR 1 monthly for July is 11th August. 11th August. And actual date, I have given different dates. So compare both, take whichever is later. Take whichever is later, guys. So this is the start date to file GSTR 1A. Okay, so here it is 11th, 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 13th. That is the start date. You can observe here. Sir, what is the end date to file GSTR 1A? That is the actual date of filing GSTR 3B, guys. So I have given you. So you can see here, there is a delay in filing GSTR 3B. Still, we will get the time till then. Still, we will get the time till then. Okay. Now assume the person is following QRMP. So for April, May, June, what is the due date to file GSTR 1? 13th of July. And assume actual date is 11 July, 13 July, 13 July, 15 July. Compare both and take whichever is later. That is the start date. That is the start date. And the end date is actual date of filing GSTR 3. So GSTR 1A window for amendment is from so and so dates to so and so dates, guys. I have clearly given. If you want, I will just show you. You can just pause the video and go through it, guys. This is monthly and this is quarterly. Got it? Yes. Okay. Sir, why did they introduce this 1A, guys? That is, if there is any mistake in 1, before filing 3B, if I have noticed it, I can amend it through 1A. Why did they introduce? Guys, the department or proper officer will issue the notice if there is any mismatch between 1 and 3B. Sir, what are those? Rule 88C and 88D. Okay, I will just cover that through my provision book. Just a minute. So Rule 88C gives power to the proper officer to issue notice whenever there is a mismatch of information between GSTR-1 and GSTR-3B of a registered person. Okay. So means the output supply or output tax details are not matching as per GSTR-1 as well as 3B for the same period, sir. For the same period. For example, just a minute. Assume for January month, for those who are filing monthly, or for Jan, Feb, March quarter, who is filing quarterly, the details given in GSTR-1 is outward supply is 10 lakh, on that output tax is 1 lakh. Okay, sir. Whereas in 3B, they have disclosed the value of outward supply as 8 lakh and output tax as 80,000. So these details are not matching, sir. So in that case, as per Rule 88C, the proper officer will issue the notice. So when notice is issued to the registered person, within 7 days, they have to either pay the amount whatever is mentioned in the notice, or they have to reply. They have to reply to the notice telling whatever is the genuine reason. If they have a genuine reason for that difference, they have to explain it. Got it? Yes, sir. Same way, if there is a mismatch of information between GSTR 2B with respect to input tax and 3B, if there is a mismatch of information, and this is given by whom, guys? My supplier, from whom I have taken the inward supply. Okay. Whatever they have given the details in is their GSTR-1 or invoice furnishing facility will reflect in my GSTR 2B, right? Yes. With respect to input tax. And whatever credit I have claimed as in 3B, no, they are not matching, sir. They are not matching. For example, you can see for either January month, or if it is QRMP, Jan, Feb and March quarter. Sir, the credit as per GSTR 2B, which is auto reflected as per GSTR 1 of whom? The suppliers. All the suppliers would have given the details of their outward supply in GSTR 1 or even using IFF, right? Yes. That will reflect to me in GSTR 2B. In that, what is the value of inward supply? Assume 10 lakh. And what is the input tax on it? 1 lakh. Whereas in my GSTR 3B, I have claimed that my value of inward supply is 12 lakh and input tax is 1.2 lakh. That means I have claimed excess credit of 20,000. So in that case, Rule 88D gives power to the proper officer to issue notice, guys. To issue notice. So in that case, if notice is issued within 7 days, the registered person either have to pay the amount mentioned in the notice or reply to the notice, giving the reason. Yes, sir. In both these cases, guys, that is as per Rule 88C or 88D, if the registered person doesn't pay tax or he doesn't reply to the notice, he doesn't do both of this, then the proper officer can take an initiative to recover the amount whatever is liable to be paid by the registered person along with interest as per section 79, which is a recovery section. Yes. And also, the person will not be allowed to give the details of his outward supply using GSTR-1 or invoice furnishing facility, which will also impact their recipients. Because if supplier is not able to give the details of their outward supply in GSTR-1 or using invoice furnishing facility, even the recipient will not be able to claim the credit, guys. Is that clear? Yes, the provisions are almost same to same, but only the scenario is different, guys. The consequence would be same, whereas scenario. Rule 88C is for mismatch of information between GSTR-1 and 3B of the same person for the same period, whereas Rule 88D is for mismatch of information between GSTR-2B and GSTR-3B with respect to inward supply and input tax. Clear? And anyway, GSTR-2B is not the return to be filed, it is a statement. The details in this will be auto reflected through what? Supplier would have filed their GSTR-1 or given the details of outward supply in invoice furnishing facility. No, yes, that will reflect here. Who? My supplier, from whom I have taken the inward supply. Got it, guys? Yes. So as the department or the proper officer used to issue the notice whenever there is a mismatch of 1 and 3B. Many a times what happens now, I would have filed one, later I will realize, oh yo, there was one thing I missed it. Or I have over recorded a sales or I have under recorded a sales. But I will correct it in my GSTR 3B. So because of that, there will be a mismatch between 1 and 3B. Because 1 I have to file on or before 11th of next month. Yes. By the time I file GSTR 3B within 20th, I have realized my mistake. So I gave a correct details in 3B. So there would be a mismatch between 1 and 3B. Yes. Previously, before introduction of GSTR-1A, I could correct my mistake in 1 only in the subsequent month GSTR-1. But now, after introduction of 1A, guys, after introduction of 1A, if there is any mistake or omission in GSTR-1, which I have noticed before filing 3B for the same period, I can amend it. I can amend it so that the rule 88C can be avoided, guys. That is, the notice under rule 88C can be avoided. Got it? Yes, sir. Okay. Next, what is the due date for payment of GST? The due dates for payment of tax in respect of the person who is filing GSTR 3B as well as GSTR 5, that is NRTP, are linked with the due dates for filing of such returns, guys. That is, whatever is the due date to file the returns is the due date to pay GST. But GSTR 5 is to be filed by the NRTP. That person would have deposited the amount in advance itself. At the time of taking the registration itself, they would have deposited the amount. But if there is any shortfall, they have to pay it before filing the returns. Got it? Because whatever amount they would have deposited is purely based on estimation. So if there is any short payment, they have to pay it before filing GSTR 5, guys. Okay. However, due dates for the payment of tax in respect of a person required to file quarterly GSTR 3B under QRMP scheme is different. The return due date might be different, whereas the payment of tax due date might be different, because the person who is under QRMP will pay the tax monthly but file the returns quarterly, guys. And for the person who is paying the tax under composition scheme, that is section 10, for them, they will file the returns annually, GSTR 4 and 9A, whereas they have to pay tax quarterly. And they should also file the payment statement. Whatever is the due date to pay tax is linked to the due date to file payment statement in GST CMP 08, guys. Got it? Yes, sir. Next, coming to QRMP scheme. This is only for the person who is under section 9, guys. Please be careful. Students might get confused with QRMP and composition scheme. No, no, no. Composition scheme is not at all. The person who is under composition scheme is not at all eligible for QRMP because they are already filing the returns annually. They are already filing the returns annually. They pay tax quarterly, file payment statement quarterly, but file returns annually. So this is for the person who is under section 9, but they cannot file returns every month. Because assume I am filing the returns every month. I have to file GSTR-1 12 returns, GSTR-3B 12 returns plus one annual return if it is applicable. Totally 25 returns in a year. Whereas if I am following QRMP, then I need to file GSTR-1 4, that is 4 quarters are there in a year. Yes, 3B 4 plus one annual return. It will be only 9. So for the person who is following QRMP, the compliance burden might be reduced, guys. Compliance burden might be reduced, but it is not available for everyone. Okay, it is only available for a small suppliers whose aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year is up to 5 crore. Pan India based, all registrations put together. Yes, sir. So if the aggregate turnover in the last financial year or preceding financial year is up to 5 crore, then the registered supplier has an option to follow QRMP. It is not mandatory. They can follow it optionally. Sir, my aggregate turnover in the last financial year is within 5 crore. Can I still file GSTR 1 and 3B monthly? Yes, I can do it. This is an option given. It is not mandatory. Yes. So if they are following QRMP, they will pay tax monthly but file returns quarterly. That is GSTR 1 as well as 3B, guys. Okay. Opting of QRMP is GST IN wise. Assume I have taken 3 registration. One is in Karnataka, the other one is in Tamil Nadu, the last one is in Telangana. So for all 3 states, should I follow QRMP? Nothing like that. I can choose any 1 or 2 or all 3 for QRMP remaining monthly. For example, assume Karnataka I am following QRMP. The other 2 states I am following monthly. Is it possible? Yes, that's possible. That is possible. Yes, sir. Distinct person can avail QRMP scheme option for 1 or more GST IN, guys. So in simple, following QRMP is registration wise. Okay. So what are the different due dates under the QRMP scheme? First of all, sir, when can I choose QRMP scheme? There is a totally time period. Guys, the time period is like this. When can I follow QRMP is first day of the second month of the previous quarter till the last day of the first month of the quarter for which I want to follow QRMP. Didn't understand? I repeat. Assume I want to follow the QRMP for the next quarter. So in the current quarter, what is the second month I need to choose? So from the first day of the second month in the current quarter till the last day of the first month of next quarter, I have a time to avail or to choose QRMP. Let me explain this with an example. Just a minute. Oh, so you can observe here. Assume I want to follow QRMP scheme for April, May, June quarter. Okay. So which is the previous quarter? Jan, Feb, March. Which is the second month there? February. So from 1st February to last day of the first month, that is 30th April. So I have time to choose QRMP from year to year, guys. Is that clear? Sir, even after the quarter start, can I choose QRMP? Yes, but within 30th of the first month or within the end of the first month of that quarter. Okay. One more example. Assume I want to follow QRMP for Jan, Feb, March quarter. Which is the previous quarter, guys? Sir, October, November, December. October, November, December. Which is the second month there? November. So take 1st November. Till when, sir? Till last day of the first month. That is 31st January. So within this time, I can choose QRMP scheme for Jan, Feb and March quarter, guys. Is that clear? Yes, sir. Fine. So what are the different due dates here? Now, if I am following QRMP, I will file my GSTR1 quarterly. Yes, sir. But if the recipients wants to claim credit immediately, who have purchased the goods or services from me in the first and second month of the quarter, then I can give the details of outward supply made to B2B recipients. That is, recipients are registered. For the first 2 months, whatever supplies I have made to them, I can give the details of that using invoice furnishing facility, guys. Okay, first, what is the due date to file GSTR1? 13th of the month succeeding each quarter. Succeeding each quarter. So for April, May, June, it is 13th July. Yes, sir. Sir, but whoever has purchased or whoever has taken inward supply from me for April and May cannot wait till July to claim the credit. So what do we do, sir? In that case, that sales or outward supplies, whatever I have made, I am a person who is following QRMP. Yes. For whatever outward supplies I have made in the first 2 months of the quarters, I can give the details of that using invoice furnishing facility. Invoice furnishing facility. Within what time, sir? Within 13th of the month succeeding each month. Within 13th of next month. Simple. So for example, for whatever sales I have made in April for a registered recipients, only for registered recipients, because if recipients are not registered, they are anyway not eligible to claim credit. Why should they have to hurry? Clear? Yes. So whatever sales I have made in April to the registered recipients, I can give the details between 1st May to 13th May using what? Invoice furnishing facility, guys. Sir, what about the remaining supplies? Assume few of the recipients, even though they are registered, still they are not in a hurry to claim credit. In that case, can I give the details in GSTR1 only? Yes. And what about the unregistered recipients? Whatever outward supplies I have made to unregistered recipients, I will give it in GSTR1 itself. Even for the last month, that is April, May, June, that is last month of the quarter, that is June. Whatever outward supplies I have made for both registered as well as unregistered recipients, I will give the details in GSTR1 itself. GSTR1 itself. So to summarize this, guys, listen here. Assume I am a supplier who is registered under QRMP scheme, who is following QRMP scheme. Okay. Now, for Jan, Feb, March, I am following QRMP. So for Jan, whatever outward supplies I have made, if it is for a registered recipient who wants to claim the credit immediately, I can give the details in IFF within 13th February, but only for B2B supply. Okay, same way for February. Whatever outward supplies I have made for B2B, I can give the details using IFF within 13th March. within 13th March. Others, I can give it in GSTR-1 only. That is B2C supplies, or else B2B, but recipients are not in urgent to claim credit. Even in that case, I can give the details in GSTR-1, guys. Clear, ka? Yes. Whereas for the last month of the quarter, entire supply details, I will give it in GSTR-1 only. Within what time, sir? Within 13th April. For all supplies. So listen here, listen here. So what details has to be given in GSTR-1, guys? Come on. What details has to be given in GSTR-1? Whatever is not given in IFF for the first 2 months, plus all the supplies made in the last month. All the supplies made in the last month. So in simple, if I have to tell again, sir, what details has to be given in IFF is the outward supplies made to registered recipient in the first 2 months of any quarter. And is it always to disclose, mandatory to disclose all the B2B supplies? No, no, no. Only if recipient is in a hurry, then or in urgent, we can give the details in IFF. If not, can I give all the details in GSTR-1 only? Yes. I need not even use IFF. If my recipients are ready to wait, then Jan sales, Feb sales, March sales, all the details I can give it in GSTR-1 only, guys. GSTR-1 itself. Is that clear? Yes. So even IFF is like an option given to a person who is following QRMP scheme to give the details of outward supply made to a registered recipient in the first 2 months of any quarter, guys. Okay. I have repeated again and again because I know students somewhere might be confused with this concept. That is why I took it number of time, guys. Okay. So GSTR-1 data done. Next, what is the due date to file GSTR 3B? 22nd or 24th of the month succeeding each quarter. I already discussed for which states it is 22nd, for which states it is 24th. Yes, sir. Okay. Sir, what is the due date to pay tax? We discussed under QRMP scheme, payment of taxes monthly, whereas returns filing is quarterly. 1 and 3B you will file quarterly, but pay tax monthly. So for the first 2 months of the quarter, the due date is 25th of next month. For April, 25th May. For May, 25th June. Okay. Whereas for the last month, it is the due date to file GSTR 3B, guys. For the last month of the quarter, the due date to pay taxes, the due date to file GSTR 3B, which is 22nd or 24th of the month succeeding each quarter. Is that clear? So if I have to tell, so in this example, if I take, what is the due date to pay GST for January means 25th February. For February, 25th March. Whereas for March, it depends on the states. It is either 22nd April or 24th April. Got it? Yes, sir. Okay. So before we proceed further, here, for the first 2 months of the quarter, guys, the person who is under QRMP scheme has an option. They can either choose fixed sum method or they can choose self-assessment method. Self-assessment means very easy. Whatever they are supposed to pay, they have to calculate it on self-assessment basis and pay it. Whereas fixed sum method means it is system generated amount and it depends on the GSTR 3B filed for the past period. Sir, how is it? I will just try to explain it with an example. Yes. Now assume in the past period. So please be careful, guys. This fixed sum method option is available only for the first 2 months. So for the first 2 months, the due date is 25th of next month, right? Yes. So the QRMP person, the QRMP person can either choose fixed sum method or self-assessment method. Okay. So in the previous tax period, assume the return is filed quarterly. That is GSTR 3B is filed quarterly. So check as per GSTR 3B, how much money is paid through electronic cash ledger. Take 35% of it. Take how much? 35% of it. So in the previous quarter, as per GSTR 3B, the following amount has been paid through cash ledger. So take 35% of it, guys. So this much amount has to be paid for both the months. That is for July as well as August. That is the current quarter. July, August, September. So previous quarter means April, May, June, guys. April, May, June. So previous period, the return was filed quarterly. So in that case, whatever amount is paid through cash ledger is for 3 months. So 3 months means how much is equal to 1 month? 33.33. They told 0.33 decimal and all not required. They have taken 35%. So for the first 2 months. Is that clear? Whereas for the last month, it has to be done on actual calculation basis. Clear? Yes, sir. Then, sir, what if I am following QRMP for the first time for July, August, and September quarter? Whereas for the last period, that is June, I filed GSTR 3B monthly. So for the last period, if GSTR 3B is filed monthly, then we need to take 100% of the tax liability as per GSTR 3B of June, which is paid through electronic cash ledger, guys. Take 100% of it. So this much amount has to be paid for both July and August, guys. So for July, I need to pay this amount on or before 25th August. Same amounts has to be paid even for August on or before 25th September. Is that clear? So please always check the previous tax period whether the return is filed quarterly or monthly. If it is quarterly, we need to take 35% for each first 2 months. Whereas if it is monthly, we need to straight away take 100%. Is that clear? And whatever we calculate here is for each month, not both the months put together. It is for each month. Yes. And as it is a system generated amount, will it be exactly equal to our actual tax liability? No, guys. So if there is any difference, we need to pay it before filing GSTR 3B for the quarter. Okay. You can just see, assume this is the amount which we have paid as per fixed sum method, which is a system generated amount, 35,000 for January as well as February. Okay, system calculated amount. We have paid it. But as per GSTR 3B, I have disclosed my actual tax liability for each of the month in the quarter, Jan, Feb and March. It is coming to 40, 45 and 50. So my actual tax liability for a quarter is 1,35,000. Okay, which is 40 in January, 45 in February and 50 in March. So that means there is a shortfall in January 5,000, February 10,000. Will there be any interest charged? No, guys. So this 5 plus 10 plus 50 totally comes to how much? 65, which is nothing but 1,35,000 is the total liability for a quarter. We already paid 70, remaining is how much? 65, which includes 50 plus 5 plus 10. Even this shortfalls. If this 65,000 is paid before filing GSTR 3B, that is before 22nd April or 24th April, depending upon the states, then there is no interest on 5,000 or 10,000, guys. There won't be any interest. There won't be any interest. But if this 65,000 is not paid, if it is not paid, then interest would be levied under section 50, which is at 18%. Okay. So here interest will be on 5,000 from when? For January, what is the due date? 25th February, right? So interest on 5,000 will start from 26th February. Not after these dates. If you don't pay within this due date, then interest will start from the due date of payment of GST. That is the succeeding date. So for January, the due date is 25th February. So it will start from 26th February. Here also for February, what is the due date to payment? For payment, 25th March. So the interest will start on 10,000 from 26th March. Whereas if this 50,000 is delayed, if it is not paid on time, the interest would be succeeding day after the due date of filing GSTR 3B, guys. So if due date is 22nd April, interest will start from 23rd April, or if the due date is 24th April, the interest will start from 25th April. Got it? Yes. So this interest calculation and all, I don't think they will test you at intermediate level, but still good to know. Good to know. If you want, you can just pause and see. So if entire 65,000 is paid within the due date of filing GSTR 3B, then no interest at all, guys. If it is not paid within the due date, then interest will start succeeding the day of the due date for payment of GST. Whatever is the due date to pay GST, from the next day, interest would start. Got it? Yes, sir. Okay. So this is all about the QRMP scheme, guys. Okay. Again, I am repeating, QRMP scheme is for the person who is under section 9. Yes. Next. if the person who is registered under GST is supposed to file the returns but not filing, then the proper officer can issue a notice for them. Yes. So what is it? Is given in section 46 read with rule 68. A notice in prescribed form, that is GSTR-3A, shall be issued electronically to a registered person who fails to furnish return under section 39, which is normal return, or section 44, which is annual return, or section 45, that is final return, or section 52, which is TCS statement. Yes. TCS statement. Yes, sir. Then the notice would require to be issued to whom? Registered person to furnish the return within 15 days. So the proper officer would be issuing the notice as per section 46 to file the returns within the 15 days. This is only when return is not filed within the due date. And there will also be a late fee for delay in filing the returns as per section 47. But what is the amount of late fee is not a part of your intermediate syllabus. It is a big headache actually. What is the amount of late fee? But anyway, it is not a part of your syllabus, guys. Okay. Delay in filing any of the following returns by their respective due dates attracts the late fee. That is statement of outward supply under section 37, that is GSTR-1. Returns including returns under QRMP scheme under section 39. Guys, there are number of returns under section 39. I have given it in this table. You can see from 3B it starts. All this returns comes under section 39. Yes, sir. Okay, going back. Then final return under section 45. Then section 52 TCS statement. Yes, sir. Then the late fee payable by a registered person for delayed filing of return under section 47 is with reference to only the CGST Act. An equivalent amount of late fee is payable by such person under the respective SGST Acts or UTGST Act as well. But anyway, as I told you, the amount of late fee is not a part of your syllabus. The late fee can be waived off partially or fully by the central government, and accordingly it has been rationalized, guys. For delay in filing GSTR 1, 3B, 4, 7 and 9, the amount of late fee has been rationalized. But the good news is it is not a part of your intermediate syllabus. Yes, there is one more return under GST, that is first return. When it should be filed, we will understand. Guys, in registration topic, we have learned when a person is liable for registration as per section 22 or even 24, he need to apply for registration within 30 days as per section 25. Yes, sir. So assume a person was liable for registration on 1st January. He applied for registration on 15th January in REG01. So did he apply within 30 days? Yes, sir. And registration was granted on 20th January. Registration was granted on 20th January in REG06, that is registration certificate. Okay. So as per rule 10, what is the effective date of registration? This R stands for registration. Okay. So as per rule 10, what is the effective date of registration, guys? The date on which a person was liable for registration. Yes, sir. So he or she is called as registered person from 1st January. And for whatever supplies has been made between this period, that is from 1st January to 20th January, a revised tax invoice has to be issued within 1 month from 20th January. That is within 1 month from here, a revised tax invoice has to be issued for the supplies made between these days. And also the first return, whatever the registered person will file, that is it might be GSTR 1 or 3B, whichever returns. Okay, there is no separate form number for first return. Whatever return the registered person is supposed to file, in that he should include the details of supplies made between 1st January to 20th January. That's all about first return, guys. I have given here all the supplies made between 1st January to 20th January has to be included in the first return. Whichever return they are filing, no, in that they have to include the supplies made between 1st January to 20th January. Got it? Yeah, now we will learn the last topic under this chapter, that is section 48, which talks about GSTP, that is Goods and Service Tax Practitioner. Now, if I am willing to act as a GSTP, first I need to register on the GST portal, guys. There is a procedure for it. I will just show you here from my provision book. Yes. Procedure for enrollment as GSTP. So I need to fill a form or make an application in PCT 01. PCT stands for practitioner. Okay, that yes, I am eligible to act as a GST practitioner, I need to make an application and I am willing to act as a GST practitioner. Yes. And once if I am eligible, they will grant me the GSTP certificate in GST PCT 0. I should also make sure that I have passed the examination conducted by NASIN, that is National Academy of Customs, Indirect Taxes and Narcotics, guys. Okay, sir. Then, sir, who is eligible to act as GSTP means, guys, it is based on experience. So, based on experience, the first 2 points it is given you, yes. And the second one is based on the qualification. Based on qualification means if I am having any UG or PG degree under the Indian universities or even under the foreign university, or even if I have passed the final examination of CA or CS or CMA, I am eligible to act as a GST practitioner. But I need to pass the examination conducted by NASIN, guys. Is that clear? Yes. And even if a person is acting as GSTP based on the experience given here in the first 2 bullet points, they have to pass the examination conducted by the NASIN within 30 months. Within 30 months, guys. Yes, sir. Okay. Now, once this person has enrolled himself as GSTP on the GST portal, now assume you are a registered person under GST. Now you are not able to comply with the GST provisions by yourself. You might not have any idea about it, or else you are really busy. So in that case, can you assign your task with respect to GST compliance to a GST practitioner? Yes. But you need not share your user ID and password. You need to just go to your profile and select anyone. Assume you are selecting me as a GST practitioner. So I will have my own user ID and password. Using that, I can do all the things what you are supposed to do under GST. Filing your returns, payment, responding to the notice, everything I can do. Whatever you are supposed to do under GST, everything on behalf of you, I can do it. But through my user ID and password. Should you share your user ID and password to me? No. Assume on any day you didn't like my work. I am not so responsible. So you are not liking the way I am working. So can you unselect me and select the other person? Yes. Any day you can unselect on your profile. You can unselect Vikas as GST practitioner and select anyone else. There will be list of people name who is willing to act as a GSTP for you. You can select anyone, whomever you feel as suitable. Got it? Yes, sir. So what are the activities a GSTP can undertake on behalf of a registered person? I have given the list here. Furnish the details of outward supply, furnish monthly, annual or final return, then make a deposit for credit into the electronic cash ledger, furnish information for generation of e-way bill, furnish details of challan in the prescribed form, file an intimation to pay tax under the composition scheme or withdraw from the said scheme, file a claim for refund if at all if the registered person is eligible, and file an application for amendment or cancellation of registration. Also, he is allowed to appear as an authorized representative before any officer or of department, appellate authority, appellate tribunal on behalf of such registered person, provided he is enrolled as GSTP under Rule 83. For example, assume you are supposed to go and present yourself in a court or a tribunal or appellate tribunal. Now, on behalf of you, can I go and represent? Yes, I can do it. Okay. Furnishing return through GSTP. Now assume you are filing your returns through GSTP. Now who is responsible if anything goes wrong? You. So you should ensure that whatever details I am giving in the returns on behalf of you is everything is true and correct. If anything goes wrong, the department will not question me. They will question you. Got it? Yes. When a registered person opts to furnish his returns through GSTP, then such person, that is such registered person, gives his consent in the prescribed form to any GSTP to prepare and furnish his return. Yes. So you have to give your consent so that I can file the returns on behalf of you. Then before confirming submission of any statement prepared by GSTP, ensure that the facts mentioned in the return are true and correct. Okay, sir. Thus, the responsibility for the correctness of any particular furnished in the return or the other details filed by the GSTP continues to rest with the registered person, guys. Yes, sir. So finally, we are done with the syllabus. Come to the section list. We'll quickly mark. And I just want you guys, I want to give few inputs to you. I will do it. But before that, I will just mark the section. Yes, guys. So we have covered all the sections. 42, 43 anyway is omitted. 44, 45, 46, 47, and 48, guys. Yes, sir. So finally, we are done with the complete revision of taxation, guys. So my responsibility, I have tried to do my best to cover the maximum syllabus of taxation, both income tax and GST in less amount of time. So less amount of time when compared to regular class. I know because I have done income tax revision for almost 20 hours and even GST revision for almost 20 hours. But guys, I have tried to cover maximum and I have tried to explain in a best possible way. And I hope it was very helpful for you. If yes, do like, share, and also make sure that you score exemption in taxation exam, guys. That is very, very important. So please prepare well, plan well, even for the exam days. How do you prepare and from which book do you prefer? All that now itself you please jot it down, guys. So you please write it somewhere because on the exam day you will have only 1.5 day time, so you may not be able to study each and everything 100%. So please plan for it now itself. Sir, from which book do you study? How do you study? Which all questions you will solve? Because even all the questions you will not be able to solve. But now you please solve it. Okay, make use of the question bank. Question bank is available for both income tax as well as GST, in which I have also given the solutions. Please make use of it, guys. That is very, very important. Students will sometimes know the provision, but they may not know how to present it. So I have given the solutions in my question bank, the way it has to be presented in the exams. Please make use of it and please practice at least writing few questions, which is very, very important, guys. Yes. And I just want to tell one quote is there, which is actually at the end of my provision book. I will just read it. No one is to blame for your future situation but yourself. If you want to be successful, then become successful. Guys, you might have hundreds of reasons not to study, not to write the exams, but one strong reasons what you have to be studying is, sir, to add that prefix in front of your name. You started this course with a purpose. Make sure that you finish it successfully, no matter how hard it is. And also, guys, sometimes when you're studying, you feel like, sir, whatever I'm studying, I am feeling that I'm forgetting it. I'm not able to retain everything in mind. Guys, it happens to any student, including me when I was a student. So don't worry about all that. Just trust yourself, have that confidence, prepare well, go through, but make sure when you're studying, you're doing with full attention. Don't have any distractions around you so that when you're studying, whatever you're studying, maximum is retained in your mind. Got it? If you get any self doubt, please try to avoid it because that might lose or that may take away your confidence or that might put your confidence down. Yes, guys. So I want all of you to pass with exemption in taxation paper, and I'm very sure that you will do it. All the best, guys.